The courtroom felt like a sealed box. Every breath sticky and loud in that crushing stillness. Captain Logan Reed sat squarely in the centre, his uniform spotless, medals gleaming under the harsh lights. Proof of battles won, of lives saved. Yet none of that mattered now. Around him, rows of faces hovered, expectant and cold. Inside Logan's chest, a storm brewed. Anger at injustice, sorrow for a life unravelled. His gaze fixed on nothing, as if his spirit had already drifted away, preparing for a tomorrow he might never see. A hush fell further as the judge adjusted his glasses and spoke in a low, measured voice. Captain Logan Reed, this court has found you guilty. Your sentence is death by lethal injection. If you have any final requests, you may speak now. The words landed like heavy stones. Logan closed his eyes, inhaling through his nose, tasting metal and fate, and then, with deliberate calm, he lifted his head. I want to see Shadow one last time. Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Shadow wasn't a colleague or a friend. He was a German shepherd, Logan's battle partner, his anchor in every firefight. Whispers turned to puzzled stares. The judge frowned, uncertain. But before he could respond, a firm voice rang out from the back. Captain Ava Mitchell stood tall, unwavering eyes fixed on the judge. Your Honour, Shadow served alongside Captain Reed. Denying this request would be inhumane. Under her weighty conviction, the judge nodded. 10 minutes, under strict supervision. Proceed. Logan's heart thumped against his ribs as he stepped into the small room. Painted, pale and cold. Each footfall felt like dragging chains. The guards at the door stood like statues, but Logan barely registered them. The air seemed to hold its breath. Then, click-click, soft but unmistakable. The jingle of a collar. Shadow burst through the door, bounding across the tiles. Ears perked, eyes shining with joyful recognition. In an instant, Logan buckled at the knees, collapsing to the floor. War had shown him horrors beyond words, but nothing had cut so deep as this reunion. He enveloped the dog's face in his trembling hands, whispering, You never gave up on me, did you, buddy? Shadow pressed his muzzle against Logan's cheek, a soft whimper slipping from his throat. In that press of fur and warmth, a jagged memory cleaved through the fog. An ambush at midnight. The sharp crack of gunfire. Screams. The iron taste of blood. A voice had cut through the chaos. Fire at will. Logan hadn't questioned it then. Now, clarity struck like a blade. They'd been set up. His hand moved to Shadow's vest. You had a camera on your vest that night, right? Shadow's intelligent gaze locked onto Logan's, as if urging him on. Dark dread settled in Logan's gut. That footage was his only hope. But Shadow had been reassigned, gone. If the video still existed, it lay buried in the military's archives, or else erased. Logan gripped Shadow's collar, the dog's rough fur grounding him. As the guards called time and led Shadow away, the dog's low growl murmured promise. Logan would find a way. Back in his cell, the single flickering bulb painted the walls with shadows. Tally marks, scratched into the plaster, counted his days of waiting. His mind raced to Ava, the only one who dared speak up for him in court. If anyone could retrieve that footage, it was her. But death row prisoners didn't get easy calls. Still, Logan bargained for one last phone conversation. And the next morning, his cell door creaked and the guard handed him the handset. Ava? His voice was rough, urgent. Logan? Ava's whisper trembled through the line. How are you even calling me? No time, he gasped. Shadow's vest camera. It might still exist. It could prove my innocence. Silence. Then Ava's voice hardened. If it's in the evidence vault, I'll get it. But it's a fortress. That night, under a moon veiled by clouds, Ava slipped into the base. She moved like a shadow, avoiding cameras, her heart pounding in her ears. Rows of locked cabinets filled the vault's cavernous room, each one a secret. She found the dusty drive, labelled Operation Iron Eclipse. Hands trembling, she lifted it, only to freeze as footsteps thundered outside. Sliding into a maintenance vent, she held her breath while guards stormed through. Minutes later, she dropped into the cool grass, sprinting into the waiting darkness. She didn't stop until she burst into Ryan Cole's cramped apartment. Ryan, a former investigative journalist, looked up, surprise and concern battling on his face. Ava slammed the drive on the table. This could clear Logan's name. Ryan didn't joke this time. He plugged it into his laptop. The progress bar inched forward as Ava's pulse thundered. When the final file unlocked, the screen revealed Shadow's vantage. Soldiers moved with brutal purpose. Then a civilian appeared, and Logan's voice. "Hold fire, there are civilians!" Footsteps, then a flash of a gun. The shooter's face resolved into Lieutenant Marcus Hale. Ryan leaned back, pale. "This is undeniable." "But Hale has power," Ava cautioned. "He won't let Nis stand." Before they could plan, Ava's phone buzzed. "An unknown number," she answered. Silence, then a low, menacing voice. "I know what you're doing. Walk away now or you'll regret it." She swallowed. Ryan's eyes were wide. "We have to move," she said. They packed the drive, and Ava led him to a silver sedan. Outside, headlights stabbed the night. A black SUV screeched in. The chase was on. Gunshots cracked, glass shattered. Ava swerved into a narrow alley, hoping to shake their pursuers, but the SUV stayed glued to her tail. "It's now or never," Ava hissed. She veered toward the old train station on the west side, satellite uplink. They burst through the station doors, echoing screams behind them. Ryan booted up his laptop. Uploading. Outside, the SUV skidded to a halt. Figures stormed in. Ava fired warning shots, forcing them back. Bullets pinged off metal beams. The upload bar cracked. 40, 60, 80, 90. "Done!" Ryan yelled. Sirens wailed as military police flooded the station. Weapons drawn. Hale's men froze, then realized what was happening. The footage was live. 3 days later, prison gates swung open. Light spilled onto Logan's worn uniform. He stepped out into the dawn, warmth on his face for the first time in months. Shadow thundered toward him, and Logan dropped to his knees, arms wide. He buried his face in the doc's coat. "I told you I'd figure it out, buddy." Ava stood behind them, silent, tears glistening. Justice had been served. Marcus Hale was in custody. The conspiracy unraveled. But scars remained. Logan placed a hand on Shadow's back, then rose, breathing the fresh air. "We take it from here," he told Ava. She nodded, a small, proud smile. Above them, the sky stretched clear and endless. A new beginning waiting just beyond the horizon.